So the today's topic is Pocso. So the protection of children from sexual offences. So what we see today, as rightly our Dean sir noted point, what is happening in the society. So every day we are getting a new case of Pocso related child abuse. So these are increasing. Why the incidents, why the prevalence are increasing? Either because of some pandemic issue, and the second is what we are sir has highlighted is pornography related issue. So because of this, we are getting a daily or increased number of cases in our societies. So there are few news. The actor Srijit Ravi arrested in fresh Pocso Act. There is a sexual abuse if children remains hidden problem. Then the Dalit sister found hanging from tree. Karnataka's Sheer facing Pocso case, move to High Courts. 50-year-old driver arrested for sexually assaulting Karnataka schoolgirls. So this daily we are getting a new case in the society. So what is the prevalence of this? The prevalence, according to the National Crime Record in 2021 conducted, though India total 109 cases we are getting daily as a child sexual abuse. The WHO reports worldwide mentioning the child maltreatment is a widespread, and 1 in 4 adults reporting being abused as a children. 1 out of every 10 women reported same kind of child sexual abuse during childhood. There are 5 million child commercial sex workers below the age of 18, and 5 lakh children are forced into the trade every year. In US, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 30 boy experience child sexual abuse. So these are the figures. See the graph showing that how it's increasing since the implementation of the act since 2012. So see the rate is in thousand. So how it is increasing? Now again I don't get a figure of 21 and 22. But see, the cases are increasing, and the disposed cases, you see the blue lights is the disposed cases. So again, what the law say, it should be disposed within 1 year. But it takes around 500 to 509 days to dispose. So instead of 365 days, it's the average. This is a statement given by the ministry that the average disposal rate is around 509 days. So this is again the too much workload on the judicial part. So this is a figure we are having. One of our residents, she is doing thesis related with unmarried and their socio-psychological issue. So we are getting, see, in 2019, there were 14 cases of minor child sexual abuse. And see, 2012, there are 35 cases. So the red, color shows the minor pregnant lady, unmarried pregnancy. So definitely within 3 years is double, or you can say more than double. So in India, we are having world most population of children in the world. And the rate is highest. It rank highest in relation with the child sexual abuse. So as you read in the newspaper daily and seeing the TV news daily, sometimes your mind gets stunned and says, so what is happening in the society? So it seems it's a real global issue. So seeing that, I have a few poetic words dedicated to the survivor of child sexual abuse. स्ट्रेस म्हणतोय तो कुठला, मला जगायचे तो देश कुठला, माझ्या देशात मरतोय मी रोज, इतरांना बघायला वेळ कुठला, रेप अत्याचाराची बातमी असते रोज, अब्रू झाकायला वेळ कुठला, समता बंधुत्वाची होळी होते रोज, माणुसकी शोधायला वेळ कुठला, अनैतिकता अराजकता आहे माझे नाव, त्याला मारायला वीर शोधू कुठला. शेवटचं, माझ्यातला तेज बघतोय मी रोज, मला जगायचे तो देश कुठला. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. So there are myths in our society because of its there are maximum tribal communities are there, illiterate populations are there in our society. So in society there are so many myths. There are certain funny myths. So therefore sexual abuse is less harmful to boys. So considering their social issue, the boys are also equally affected. Most sexual abuse of the boys is committed by homosexual men. The boy is abused by a male will become a guy. If boy has been sexually abused by female, then he is lucky. A child sexual abuse doesn't happen in good communities. So it happens in each section of the society. Child sexual abuse happens mostly to girls. So this is wrong. Only men commit child sexual abuse. And the last one, STD gets cure after committing child sexual abuse. So this is very much true. The forensic people, I think, they are getting such a... So that, especially for penetrative. If the sexual offense is penetrative, then they think that the STD gets cure. So this is the one. So till 2012, there was no any legislation related with the that govern the child sexual acts. So there were loophole. There is it was not addressed before till 2012. So what are the loopholes? In spite of having 375, 354, 377, so there were loopholes in the IPC Act. The 375 does not protect a male victim. 375 does not protect the modesty of the male child. And 377 does not define the criminalization of sexual abuse of children. So they need to add, that is a Pocso Act. So sometimes, commonly instead of Pocso, we term as a Pocso. So this is a kind of same thing. So that was enacted by the Parliament in 14 November 2012 to prevent the children aged less than 18 years from the offences like sexual harassment, sexual assault and child pornography. The Act was passed by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. It seeks to put a child frequently reporting according to the evidence, investigation, speedy trial of the offences through a special course. What are the offences covered under the Act? The Penetrative Sexual Act. So by words, I think there is no need to explain. The Penetrative Sexual Act, the second aggravated penetrative. The term aggravated means either the child abuse is mentally ill or physically disabled, or that is committed by the person who is in a position of trust, like the head of the institute or head of any religious institute or any teaching teacher and all that. Sexual assault. Next is aggravated sexual assault, sexual harassment, using child for pornographic purpose and trafficking the children for sexual purpose. The following can be offender for the offences under the Pocso Act. The relative of the child. So one study conducted by the Mumbai KEM hospital that show the 78% of the offenders are relative. Public servants, policemen, then the security forces, management of the staff of the jail, custodial institution, management of the staff. So this comes under aggravated. If it is committed by these people, then it comes under the punishment is more. Any person who is a position of trust or authority. And the last one is juvenile. So these are the punishment offences covered in the Pocso Act 2012. Punishment of the above offence is specified in the table below. Under heading name of the offences, then there are provision of that act and the punishment. So whoever makes or commit a penetrative sexual assault on the child under section 4 shall be punished with a minimum of imprisonment of 10 years. Again, under section 6, aggravated penetrative, that again the head of the institute or if the abused child is disabled or mentally ill, then there will be the rigorous imprisonment of 20 years, which may extend up to the life term. Then under section 8, sexual assault, it shall be again punished with the imprisonment of 3 to 5 years. Aggravated sexual assault. So these assault, that means either you are touching the abuse, child with the intention of sexual desire or sexual intent. So touching, so that is assault. Or for example, the pulling the sari of any lady, that is become the sexual assault. And the harassment means you are giving some sexual gesture or some sexual remark to that lady or the child, then it becomes a harassment. So under different section, the punishment is, you say the aggravated, the punishment is more. Harassment, again it is the imprisonment around 3 years. Pornography, 5 to 7 years. So again, use of child pornography resulting in penetrative sexual assault, there will be the minimum imprisonment of 10 years. So if there is a child pornography resulting in aggravated penetrative sexual assault, there shall be punished with the imprisonment of life term. Use of child pornography resulting in sexual assault, then shall be punished with the imprisonment of 6 to 8 years. Then if it is aggravated sexual assault, again it is increases to 10 years. So likewise there are with the section, the punishment goes on changes. So abatement and attempt of the encouragement and attempt of the child sexual comes under 16 and 17. So abatement is treated with some gravity as a commission of the offense. Trafficking in children for sexual purpose covered under this abatement. Attempt to commit an offense penalize up to half of the punishment prescribed for that offense. So it also cover the in offenses. So there is a mandatory reporting. In section 20, it is given that the person who know the sexual offense should inform to the police, local police, or to the special juvenile police unit. Report, and that after informing the police station, that is their responsibility, police station's responsibility to inform the child welfare committee within 24 hours. And that committee, again, they decide whether to keep the child with the family or to ship the patient to the shelter home. So it gives you 3 days to decide whether to keep the child with the family or to ship and to the nearest police. You have to present that child to the hospital for getting the medical examination done. Under section 21, failure in reporting of cases. So rightly, Dr. I think, Superintendent Sir, Dr. Kuchewar, he has rightly mentioned, there was one case and that was not informed by the doctor. I think it's a case of our institute. So failure to report commission of the offense, so there shall be imprisonment of 6 months, and failure to record an offense, so that part comes, record means either by the police station. Again, the imprisonment that shall be 6 months. Failure to report by a person who is in charge of any company or institution in respect of offense committed by the subordinate under his control, again the imprisonment that shall be 1 year and with a fine. False complaint. So these are again common. If your intention is to malign the person who you so that comes under the offense. The false complaint against any person with a malicious intent, there will be the imprisonment of 6 months with a fine or both. Under same section becomes false complaint against the child, then again the imprisonment of 1 year or with a both. So here there are some queries. I'm going to ask the panelists related with this query. So if the child is minor like this, if the complaint filed by the child who is a minor, so how come either where to keep these children, in the jail or some custodial or like that. So we'll see later on in the direction to the media. So media not to disclose the identity of the child except when permitted by the special court. So here there are so many patients comes to our institution. So what we are writing a police call in the separate, there is a police call book is there. So without naming the patient on the call book, we are writing a call to the police station that such a minor girl of 14-week gestation or 20-week gestation admitted in our ward 20 or 32, and this is for your information. So without identifying, without disclosing their identity, so we have to do this. Name, address, photograph, family details, school, neighborhood, any other particular which may lead to disclosure of identity of that. So this is if you do this offense by disclosing, then there will be punishment not less than 6 months, which may extend to 1 year. Under the section 24, there is a procedure of recording the statement. There should be a child-friendly procedure. Recording at the resident, either you record the statement at the child's home, I mean their parents, or the lady officer, not below the sub-inspector, she should not be in a uniform, the child should not come in contact with the accused. So every stress related factor that you have to nullify. There should not be any contact with the accused. Recording of the statement of child in the presence of parents or any other person whom the child has a trust and confidence. Wherever possible, recording statement by the audio video electronic means as spoken by the child. So this is a very important part as far as the gynecological examination concerns. This comes under 27. If it require medical examination of sexual abuse victim should be done immediately, and no hospital doctor should delay the examination for want of police requisition. So what happened maximally, the patient with the WBC, I mean the child with the WPC comes to our hospital. So usually the FIR lodge first and police come with the all requisition and the child. So even if without police, the patient and the relative child with their parents comes to our institute, so there is no need to ask for the requisition. You can send a call, bedside call to the police, not to assist for any police requisition or magistrate order before conducting medical examination. Then what to do? Examination of the victim that should be conducted by the consented doctor, either female or male doctor, whosoever compatible with the victim that you have to choose. If or female or male, there is no problem with you can. Initially it was there that female doctor should be there, but again the amendment done, and it is any gynecologist, a lady doctor or male doctor can perform. They should be conducted in the presence of parents of the child. You have to take the signature before you examine you have to take in writing the willing for the medical legal examination of the child. So you have to take the consent of the parent as the victim is minor. Or any person whom the child reposes the trust or confidence. Collect the evidence after thorough medical examination. So as a gynecologist, you have to take in requisition form, there are questions to collect the vaginal swab, the matted hair and all that. So previously that was needed, that was evident to collect but medical examination of any injury over the perineal area, that is very important. What the swab report comes or the matted hair report comes, that doesn't matter the severity of the punishment. What matter is the finding of your local examination, that it's very must. Prescribe for injury. If she needs any surgical treatment or medical treatment like sonography and all that, if you are seeing any STD related complication or you investigate the victims, HIV, see the status of the HIV. If there is a pregnancy, you have to prescribe the medicine. Emergency contraceptive. Suppose there is there is a the baby abuse is attended related with the menses, and there is a chance of pregnancy, so you can prescribe the contraceptive to the abuse. Conduct the age assessment of if you are having any doubt related with even if she submitted Aadhaar card and the parents, they are not knowing about the detail about the birth, date of birth, not having the school certificate, they are doubtful, then you can, through the CMO, you can write a call to the forensic department about the confirmation of the age. A treatment should be free of cost. Non-compliance of the treatment can drag the doctor to 1 year imprisonment and fine. So this is applicable both government and the private hospital. Why private people, they are afraid of doing all this? Because they don't want to get traumatized by our prolonged judicial proceeding. Otherwise, this is both applicable to the private as well as the government doctor. This is an amendment 2019. Any image created, adapted, modified or computer generated image, cartoons, animated picture of the child pornography shall be considered an offense and he could face a punishment of 3 years. And again the next amendment, the addition to in 2020, any institution housing children or coming in regular contact is required to conduct a periodic police verification. So police verification is very important. Those who are MPSC, I think they are knowing what is the importance of police verification. Until you won't clear the police verification, you won't get a job in any institute, government institute at least. So this is very important. They see any FIR lodge against, whether you are anti-social, any crime against you. If it is nil, then only they recommend to the MPSC board or any authority that yes, the subject can be given a job. Such an institution must impart a regular training. They should have a regular training to sensitize its employee on child safety issues. The institute has to adopt a child protection policy based on the principle of zero tolerance for the violence against children. So this is a flow chart. So once the patient, once the child reported the case to the local police station, so recording done by the statement done by the local police, and after that, the child comes to for the medical examinations, and within 24 they have to inform the CWC, Child Welfare Committee, within 24 hours, and they depute the support person. So this support person is very important. He should be sensitive enough to deal all this sensitive issue. So there very much we are lacking every police stations or everywhere it is inadequacy of the support person in our country. So this support person should be there pre-trial, trial and post-trial. And then CWC to determine the child stay, whether the child want to remain within the family or prefer some shelter home. Suppose like a pregnant lady, suppose she got the child became pregnant and 14, 16 years old and she is carrying a pregnancy of 20-week gestation. It is difficult for the parents to see the consequences and again on the stigma part. So they prefer to shift to the shelter home. So one of the popular shelter home, everyone knows the Shraddha Anathalaya. So we are getting, every month we are getting a patient from Shraddha Anathalaya. So they are getting compensation. On their compensation, they are providing food and shelter to that child, and every treatment like providing support persons and all, they are providing Shraddha. So that compensation money paid for the relief and rehabilitation of the child. So after the medical, so this support person supposed to provide entrepreneurs and avoid while taking the statement, avoid face-to-face contact with the accused, and final is recording of the statement by the magistrate. They have to put these all things should be done within 1 month. After the FIR file, they have to put before the court within 1 month, and again it will take time 1 year to get the justice. There are national, international NGO, those who are supporting the child sexual abuse. These are the celebrities. Those are victims of the child abuse. The possible of child sexual abuses. These are the some signs. Aggressive behavior, socially isolated, then becomes they avoid the family members and friends. The self-esteem is low. There will be a sudden bedwetting, behavior problem. There are so many problems related with these are the child. What are the adult manifestation of child sexual? There are high risk of psychiatric emotional behavior problem like depression, post-traumatic stress, panic disorder, and suicide tendency. So there are cases reported like this. Substance abuse, alcoholism, antisocial personality disorder. In a study in Australia, where they what they have seen they study the 27 prison, out of that 67 prisoner, male and female, had been abused as a children. So this is a significant percentage. What are the gynecological problem? Chronic pelvic pain, dyspareunia, vaginismus, non-specific vaginitis, GI. If any patient comes to you, then I think the past history you have to ask related any history of child sexual abuse. So there should be public awareness about the act. So every parent, I think, they must teaching their kids about not to eat from any stranger, not to go with any stranger, and what is a bad touch and good touch. They should aware that. I think it's parents as well as teacher responsibility to teach the children. Again, there are guidelines about to the government and the central government and the state government. Do more. So there are less public prosecutor in our country. The support persons also inadequate. So there are 24/7 child supports call and helpline is there. Again, the topic is medical termination of pregnancy. So this is a new amendment to the original MTP Act 1971. So what MTP of 2021 it's only the period is extended. Here the period of termination is extended. Suppose patient of below 18 and she is like 23-24 weeks of gestation. So under this law, under this act, you can terminate. Only 2 gynecologists is required. So this is very much important. Otherwise, what it is used to happen, suppose you are working in as a unit head and your subordinates say that, sir, uska 21 weeks hai, uska 20 kar lete. So what happened previously, 20 weeks, if the patient presented you 21 weeks, and your law that supports you up to 20 weeks for termination. So your subordinate say, sir, iska 21 week cut karke 20 likh lete so that we can do the termination and all that. So these things used to happen. So better not to any manipulate the sonographic related issue, because you don't know whether she already she had a report of some sonography and the sonologist already submitted that report online. So you don't know. So there is a possibility that you may change the report here of 1 week at our departmental level. But I will not support that things. So the gestation increase in this act, it's 20 to 24 weeks. So you can terminate, the patient is minor, and up to 24 weeks, you can terminate the pregnancy. The only thing is confidentiality you have to be keep. So there is a quote from quote of Nelson Mandela: safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consciousness and public investment. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizen of our society, a life free of violence and fear. ख्वाहिशों की खामोशी बन गई, कमबख्त उम्र सजा हो गई. So here, both are going to suffer as a victim as well as the abuse. So these are my references, and thank you very much.